Hi, I'm Reverend Barbara Schobl-Legee. I'm licensed and ordained through Connorsville First Assembly, and I'm also a licensed lay preacher in the Episcopal Church, Diocese of Central Florida. I took courses at the Institute for Christian Studies in Orlando, Florida. These studies are required by the Episcopal Church prior to being ordained, and it also allows for a layperson to become a licensed lay preacher. In 2008, I questioned the 2012 destruction date, and I prayerfully kept asking God, is this real? What's going to happen? What does this mean? Is this the end of the world? And the only answer I got was, study Revelation. So I read and reread the book of Revelation, and the images were confusing at best. So I started looking for books on prophecy, and one of those books described how to study prophecy. I was in luck. This was my key. You see, God does not want us to be ignorant. I found out that all prophecy is explained by God. One needs to start in the book of the Bible that contains the prophecy they want to know about and see what explanations are there. Then work backward chronologically. Unfortunately, Bibles that are written chronologically are put together according to the time that the author wrote about. So if a prophet were writing about something that's going to happen 30 years in the future, that's where that book is placed in the Bible, not when the actual book was written. So I had to do some research and find when the books were written and work backward from there. I found that every image in Revelation is explained somewhere in the Bible. Now, I am the author of Revelation, What John Knew, and this book came out of those studies. For 4 years, I studied Revelation, and I read over 100 books, praying and weeding out the bad ones from the good ones. And I also found that there are many, many views about Revelation and what it's all about. Just to name a couple of them, there's the spiritual and the historical, which I cover, and the revealing of Jesus Christ, of course, which is what the book is all about. And that was John's task. Historically speaking, some put all of Revelation into the few years right after John wrote the book. Others take Revelation and they put it into the 3.5-year time period during which the Roman army surrounded Jerusalem and then destroyed it and the temple. I and a few others view the book of Revelation as covering time from the very beginning to the very end of time and the creation of the new heaven and the new earth. Now, the genre of the book could be considered religion, prophecy, or biblical commentary. Each of the churches in chapters 2 and 3 of Revelation was given information to which they could relate when they were told what would happen if they did not repent and overcome. For instance, Ephesus was told that their candlestick would be removed. You see, Ephesus had been destroyed once before and moved 4 years later, about 4 miles from where they were initially built. They rebuilt that city completely, and they knew what destruction was all about, and they knew what God was talking about when he said, if you don't repent, I will remove your candlestick. In Revelation 2:10, God tells John, the devil will cast some of you into prison that you may be tried. You will have tribulation 10 days. The meaning of this is found in Numbers 14, verses 34 and 35, and it reads, and your children shall wander in the wilderness 40 years, after the number of days in which you search the land, even 40 days. Each day for a year shall you bear your iniquity, even 40 years. You see, this was after Moses had sent spies into the promised land. And they searched for 40 days, and they came back and told Moses, oh, we can't go in there. The people are giants, and they see us as ants in their sight. Only Caleb and Joshua were willing to go into the promised land because they knew that God was on their side. So for those 40 days, they got to wander around the wilderness for 40 years. There's a similar example of day for years in Ezekiel 4, verses 4 and 6. This is an example of the explanation being found within the pages of the Bible. Reviewers have stated such things as, Barbara Schobl-Legee's biblical scholarship and clarity of expression stimulates thoughtful and heartfelt reflection on our faith, which is tied so dearly to the Scriptures, as she skillfully connects the reader to the vast resources of the Old and New Testament writers. Barbara Schobl-Legee gives a practical causal link between the law and prophets of the Old and New Testaments. She challenges the systematic theologies of the dispensationalists and the Adventists. Her use of Old Testament in interpreting the New is unique and refreshing. And Revelation, What John Knew, is interesting, thought-provoking, and of sound doctrine. It also is an easy read in the style and language used to present John's point of view. A couple of people have told me, this book blew my mind, and it's so easy to understand. So if you want to unlock the secrets of the book of Revelation, delve into the intriguing visions of John with Revelation, What John Knew. Whether you're a devoted Christian or just curious about biblical studies, this book is sure to captivate you. Unlock the secrets of John's vision and discover the hidden truths of the book of Revelation. Get your copy now on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. Thank you, and may God continually bless you and keep you in His eternal care.